Yeah.
Smanga.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Yeah. Long time no see.
Yeah,
Long
man,
time no see.
I've been busy.
Yeah, you've been busy, man. Yeah.
I've been busy.
So without wasting time, man, I brought you here because your work ethic and your entrepreneurship. But let's start off with your upbringing. You know, like kind of family you come from and where.
Okay. Where do I start this? Okay. Originally, I was born and raised in Soweto, Mufulo, Ebzotin. That's what they call it. Because there's a lot of crime there. And then we were staying in a church because my father is a pastor. So we moved to a church there in Soweto. Then from Soweto, he went to Pietermaritzburg where he studied.
He went or you guys went?
Oh, as a family. We went to Pietermaritzburg where he studied, I don't know, biology or something like that. I don't know how they call it.
Babylon.
He studied there. Then after that, we stayed there about for 5 years. Then 1999, we moved to Mamelodi where he was a pastor. And we stayed there in a church. And then from then we moved to Salvokop, where we stay in a house that was broken down, unfortunately. Yeah, now it's a block of flats.
Yeah.
And then after that, we moved to Sunnyside, Pretoria. And then, we stayed there from 2013 up until now. I'm still staying there. Yeah.
You don't have your own apartment?
Okay, now I have my own apartment, yeah. But I used to stay 2018, then that's when I decided to move out and seek for greener pastures. Then I ended up buying my own flat.
In the same
Yeah, in the same building way, yeah. I love that flat so much that I had to buy myself an apartment there. Yeah.
What do you love about that flat that made you
When I grew up
remain
there,
there?
that's where I felt like, okay, when I was in Salvokop, yeah, I experienced life, but there I experienced the adulthood life. So in a way, that's where I could say I grew like up to a level where I was matured and where I could see life differently. When I could now figure out what I wanted to be in a way. Yeah, because there was a lot of opportunities surrounding me, a lot of people who were successful, so I could learn from people around me in a way.
And you did study in Unisa, no?
Yeah, I studied Unisa. I started around 2014, 15, I think. Yeah, I was doing animal health, which is, I don't even know how to pronounce this name. And I'm actually studying this, but I can't even pronounce it. But it's known as veterinarian technician. That's what I studied. I completed my BTech honors last year. I think, last year. So
are you planning on pursuing that field?
No, not now. Like the business bug has bitten me. I can't picture myself working, even if it's controversial, because in my family they wanted me to actually go and work. Even now, my father called me for a meeting, like, nah, man, you need to work, and at least use your qualification to get yourself some work and stuff like that. But now I'm so deep into business that I don't think I'll ever use my qualification unless life kicks me in the butt. Then yeah. But for now, nah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So are you saying you went to school because of your parents?
Okay, I went to school because I wanted to get a job so I could live. But during those years when I was in school, that's when I became a businessman, and I saw Wuti, me wanting to work is actually not fair, because that qualification alone is going to benefit me and my family. So my thinking was broad now. It's okay. What about those people who don't have qualification or never go to school? How would they make money, or how would they feed their families? So to me, it was like, no, man, let me create something that will not benefit me, but will also benefit someone who's out of school now, who can never get an opportunity to go to school and put food on the table for their kids or whatever. See, so that's how I started now thinking of what idea could come with that could create that what I'm looking to create now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And during your years in Unisa, did you establish any small business there or
Yeah.
something to
Yeah.
have a little income or?
Yeah, my
so.
first business there. Okay, my mom took me to school. I was actually supposed to work before, so everything just happens for a reason. Because before I went to Unisa, I had went to an interview at Pick and Pay, and I was supposed to start on a Monday. My mom didn't have like money to take me to school, so on a Monday, I passed the interview. They liked me a lot. They wanted me as a permanent. Then on Monday, I went to my mom and I asked for money to go to school. And then to work. And then after my mom told me, no, don't go to work, just go to school. Yeah, So from that moment alone changed my life, because it is through that moment that I'm where I am now today. Because if I had worked, I wouldn't be where I am now. So during my studies at Unisa, there was some subjects I was good at. So I was approached by this learner who was struggling, who wanted me to be a tutor to help her understand that subject. And then from then onwards, she passed, and then she said I should continue helping other students like I helped her there. So I formed a group where I would tutor students, so I would have sessions with them, one-to-one, via video call, via Skype. And then from there, that's when I started generating money. And from then onwards, I knew that, no, man, business was the way, because I could make like so much money at a very, very
Early
young
stage.
age. Yeah.
So much money, so it was a lot of money for you.
Yeah, for me at that age,
that
it was
time.
a lot, because
Yeah.
I was only 24. And I made my first 20 grand in my account. So it was exciting for me, from having nothing.
I know I would be.
Yeah.
I know I would be.
How long did it take you to accumulate 20 grand?
It took maybe 6 months.
Uh.
Yeah, so I was saving. Then come December, and then I spoiled myself. Yeah. Yeah. So it took a long time, some time. Yeah.
So let's say while you entered Unisa, right? You are a student now.
Yeah.
At which year did you discover that?
I started 2016, I think.
No, I mean like in terms of.
Yeah.
Okay, what
No,
were
in
you
school I
doing? A
started-
diploma or a degree?
I was just doing my diploma.
Okay, and then that's why I'm asking, what year after that? Maybe was it your first year or second year in university?
I started 2016. Then I started tutoring around 2017. Yeah.
So it didn't just happen
Yeah.
like that.
That didn't happen. It took a lot of convincing from that girl, because she was struggling. And then I thought I had forgotten most of the things I'd done, but I was willing to sit down with her on a daily basis and then tutor her. She'd ask me questions. I would break it down. Okay, this is what you need to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I became like a master. Then I took interest in other subjects as well that I knew. Then I started helping, because I used to do it for free before she came, and she told me, no, you should make this thing formal, and at least make yourself some form of income.
Yeah.
Yeah, then that's when I started now going full out, having multiple groups where I break down assignments for them, where I teach them, where they ask me questions and stuff like that.
So if I'm listening correctly, your entrepreneurship didn't begin in high school. It just began in tertiary.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
And then through that, it just changed your life. From that,
From that it changed my life, and then now I wanted to start venturing into other businesses. So I wanted to have multiple sources of income. So that's when now now I tutor students, but what else can I do despite that? And that's when I met this brother of mine called Bolofo, and then we came into an agreement because he had a skill of cooking.
yeah.
So we decided to partner with him. Then we bought a food trailer. Then for a food trailer, then we started selling food, which was my second a business which I was bringing me income.
While at the same
While at the
time,
same time I was busy tutoring. So I was a student doing my studies at school. I tutored and I also ran the business with my
business.
friend at the same.
Yeah.
So I was doing three things in a space of one. Like my head was everywhere.
Yeah.
I'd wake up in the morning, pull the trailer with my friend, help him to prepare food, then rush back to Unisa, help some students there, meet up with a few students. Then later on, come back here, do lunch, serve, pull the trailer at 6. I go back home, do my studies. And yeah, I used to juggle around.
and
Wait, but
did
he
it?
also hired his friend. Why doesn't he speak about the fact that he hired his friend?
Oh yeah, in the process.
The only conversation I had is that he and his friend started a business.
Yeah, I actually in the process, that's when I was able to create employment for 3 people.
Or the charity work.
Yeah, 3 people. One of them, which was my friend, helped us for free, but I paid him at the end of
Yeah,
the
at
day.
the end of the day.
I still owe him 100 rand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that was my joy. That's when I saw, like I was a proud moment because I had created jobs for people and I was paying salaries, and which was very, very nice. Yeah, even if it didn't start very well. It was ish, yeah.
It was just part of the challenges of
It was
running a
the struggle.
business.
Yeah, I didn't know. I actually laughed when I went to do some flyers. When this guy, we told him that we want to start a business, and he laughed at us like, expect profit after 2 years. Like, this guy is crazy. And I saw the reality of that. Like, hey, it's tough.
Yeah. So approaching business, you need a different kind of attitude.
You need a different kind
You cannot enter it in a employee mentality.
Yeah, you cannot. Business, there's a lot of things you need in a business. Yeah. And there's a lot of things I discovered that in a business you cannot just think for the moment. You need to have a broad understanding of, okay, what a business, what's...
No matter how small the business
yeah,
is.
feasibility study. There's a lot, marketing. There's a lot of, a lot. Because when we came here and started doing business in Savokop with my friend, I told him, it's okay, let's first create flyers to create awareness. There's a business that's going to be coming in this area. This is what we're going to be selling, and this is who we are. So with him having made business in the area already, I assume that people already know him, so we don't have to do that. Then we came. Then unfortunately things didn't go that way because people didn't know who we are. They saw him, but others couldn't even remember him. And then it was a very, very slow start. It took a long time to even make like 10 rand. Yeah.
Would you say there was arrogance there?
I can't say it's arrogance, but it's a matter of
Naive.
being naive, not having enough information, because we were both at the same stage. It was
not on your side, but from the friend's side.
Like we were both starting as businessmen, so we had different ideas. So I wouldn't say it's being arrogant or what. He thought what was best for the business would be this because he's the face. Yeah, but people would know, but unfortunately it didn't work out that way. Yeah.
I see arrogance though, I'll be honest. I still say
I wouldn't say it's arrogance.
I still say arrogance.
Arrogance is like saying, no, like, your idea is crap, bruh.
No, arrogance in a perspective where they know me.
Yeah.
I don't need, like, I'm that guy. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that perspective.
Yeah.
I see arrogance in that.
Yeah.
And it came in with a price.
But
But I like the fact that you didn't give up still.
yeah, we didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
so,
didn't give
yeah,
up.
we didn't.
Well, the
give
thing
up.
is, what kills, especially I think small businesses, is the giving up.
Yeah, the giving up.
You know, and I think I do believe that when they say that you shouldn't approach it, I mean, you shouldn't approach your customers, emotionally, with your heart, and, because you take things wrong. Let's say if I go there and I don't buy and I don't, maybe you hold a grudge and all that. Instead of asking yourself, why am I not buying? Right? What can I do to improve? Instead of asking yourself that question, maybe it's me. It's all. You tend to have a different kind of mindset where it's not you. Maybe it's the people around me.
Yeah.
Instead of working on yourself, working on your business and saying, how do I improve this business?
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, it was ish. It was very, very, very tough. Like it wasn't like a nice start, because the worst part, that what made it worse is that I used to run the business from my own pocket. I used to pay the other 2 employees when the food would go rotten because people don't buy. So I used to take money again from my pocket and add, and it was a loss. I think I lost a lot of money
through that.
on the start.
I think also people have a lot to learn from you on that.
Yeah.
And I think people have especially small businesses, what small businesses are going to do, or people who are running small businesses, is that they don't learn that first they're going to make a loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think also hiring 2 people at the time for me was a no.
Yeah, for me, it was excitement that I'm just creating employment, but it took a toll on my
pocket. You could have just
pocket.
hired 30 people.
You could have.
It took a toll, but it was a lesson that was learned. That was why the business became successful when we moved to another area.
Because of the past experience already that you had.
I learned a lot, so I was better prepared.
And so how is the business doing now?
After we moved from Sapokop, we went to Hamilton Street, where I found, I used to pass there on a daily basis. So I saw this area where it was actually conducive to make a business, because there were different departments around. So I knew that, then we can make a lot of money, because there was no competition of that sort. And there was a lot of departments. So I knew that a lot of people wanted to eat. So before that, I told my partner, let's not make the same mistake that we did there. So I came up with an idea of something we called a half plate. What I understood is that people want to eat at work, but they don't want to eat too much to a point where they're full and they can't work. And again, someone cannot have 50 rand on a daily basis. So I need to come up with something that's affordable, that can keep someone coming for the whole week, but at a lesser price. So that is when I came up with this thing called a half plate. It was actually a small portion of a full plate. So we cut it in half, make it just a reasonable smaller pop, and some meat nyana, and gravy, and I said we should start it at 20 rand. So with 20 rand, I knew that, once we say we have a plate of 20 rand, that is marketing alone, because not a lot of business, there's no fast food business that has a plate under 20 rand or 20 rand in the whole of
day.
To
this day.
Yeah, 25 rand. So I knew that would create buzz. The people will ask.
And we're not talking about
25.
pato or chips. We're talking about a plate, a meal.
So from that plate, I knew.
I would buy it.
Yeah, I knew that I'd still be making more money, because, for example, our full plate was 35 rand. So we take that 35 rand full plate and cut it in half and make 40 rand, 20. So we'd still be making 5 rand extra. So from then people started, what, 20 rand? No, it's lying. We're lying. And the employees would say, okay, let's go. Let me go show you. And then we got a lot of customers. That was the first time ever in my life making profit out of another business. They finish all the food. It was the first time going with empty pots home. So from then we pushed. We were making a lot of money. And then...
Sorry to interrupt you, but speaking on that, particularly on the portion part where you started breaking the plate and it was suddenly 20 rand. You remember me and you went to Dipalo. There was this program at Dipalo, right?
Yeah.
What is the name of that? What is it? Gwendla. What was that? What is the name of that thing?
Yeah, it's
I think along those lines. Yeah. Did that play a part? Because you remember they taught us in terms of how to really break things down.
Okay. To be honest, that happened after. The Gwendla thing happened after. Because with me, I could say what gave me the experience was the failure there. That happened before. So I was much more wiser then going there. Then that's when we even did the marketing part of the business, when I told my friend that, okay, let's market it. We went there day before, handed out flyers, created the hype that, okay, there's a new business coming in town. Or even before we went there, we just went there to do, I told him, like, okay, let's go there. Let's go and interview the people. What are they eating? What would they like to have? What does the competition? Yeah, we did like a survey just to get the feel on what. Okay, and they told us, no, we don't have chips here. Okay, we don't have this, and this. The prices are high. Then we went back with that information, created a flyer, came up with the ideas of half plate, and then it just worked.
So the half plate idea, did it come initially from the questions, or was it during the course?
No, it just hit me when I was on the road. I was just walking I was just thinking, man, how can we make something very affordable, like so affordable that someone can't resist? Like we crush everything, every competition, and then something just said half plate in my mind, and that is how half plate came about.
I mean, that is a
Half plate.
Yeah.
It's still good for business, I think.
Yeah. It is because we had over 100 customers a day coming to buy that half plate more than the full plate.
Cha.
Yeah. So that was our main selling point.
More money.
Yeah, than the full plate. Yeah. That was our marketing. So the thing is, the people, they had a cafeteria inside. So everyone from the cafeteria, from the workplace was now coming to us because of that plate alone. So that's how we built a big market, and customer base.
And the catering inside, how did they take that? I'm sure they...
The what?
The catering from inside,
Hey,
how did they take that?
Oh, they took it very bad because they also come and buy there and check this plate of ours. And we'd have people from the inside complaining that these guys who are inside are complaining that we're selling a plate from 20 rand. Because that plate was like 50 rand. So they're complaining that, nah, man, this is not fair, what. And they actually did us dirty now because they started now, in order to defeat us, calling the Metro Police, which is, hey, those guys, they really messed up my business. Yeah.
But he taught you something about competition, right?
He told me about competition and it can get very nasty. Yeah.
And since then, what steps have you taken?
I've taken, after that they came and took our trailer. Then we went back, we got it again, we came back. No, we didn't come back same time. We waited for like 3 months, then we went back again. We sold, still the business was booming. They came back, they took it again. Then there was a period where we went for a year without selling because we were so scared that they'll take our trailer and it will never return. Then again, on January, the following year, we went back. I think they took that trailer about 6 to 7 times. And every time we would have to take out money and bail it out.
But it was legal for them to do so.
Yes, it was.
Why was it legal?
It's legal because you have to have some papers apparently to be on the street. But even when we went through the legal way of trying to get papers, they told us that we cannot conduct business 5 meters away from the government building. There's a lot of red tapes that is actually stopping a lot of people from doing business in the streets.
So what you're saying is your customers were happy.
Very happy.
But
they even fight with the Metro Police when they come to take our trail.
The problem was the government.
Yeah, there's too much. I think it's apartheid laws because they haven't even modified the laws. It's still laws from back then, which is, it's sad because we had employed someone who was taking care of the family with the money we were making there. And now we had to stop. He had to go back home because now we weren't making money anymore. So there's too much red tapes surrounding the legal selling of products and goods.
So it wasn't you guys. We have to go back to that. The fact that it's not that you are lazy. It's not that you just woke up and said, you know what, I don't want to go to work today. Or I don't want to go to my business. But there's restrictions that the government has placed. The red tapes that make it hard for small businesses to operate and grow.
Very, very hard. Because and the thing is, I don't understand why. Because we were inside the trailer. The trailer was parking like cars that usually park there. We weren't taking any space, we weren't doing anything. everything is inside. Everything we do is inside. We weren't making the street dirty, nothing. And they just,
So with the cafeteria, you would say that they were exploiting, what you, if it's the right word.
They
were exploiting.
They were
their
using
workers.
I
mean, back in the 90s, if you worked in a government institution, the government itself provided food for free for its workers. So now they're exploiting them, making them pay, and on top of that, the salaries are getting taxed. So it's just exploitation on exploitation.
It is.
So you're trying, if we're accusing the government, I can add then and say, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong, it's as though the government is creating its own market and then kicking out anyone who tries their luck.
For me, it seems that the government is favoring more of the well-established businesses because they don't want to create too much competition for them. Because if you have a cafeteria inside and you don't want anyone to sell outside, that for me is it's showing that you obviously favoring the well-established business that are inside your premises more than those who are outside.
I mean, we don't even have to go far, right? Right here, Stats is not far. Stats catering is Severst.
Yes.
And you know how large Severst is. And it has a contract that stretches for more than 20 years. Now, I did have this conversation with Oscar about that, saying that the problem with the government is exactly that. Always willing to work with these well-established companies and then kicking the small ones out. Because as I said, catering, landscaping didn't really need to go to Severst. You know, they could have said, okay, choose one. Right? Choose one. Okay, landscaping, we'll have to find another. Cleaning, we'll have to find another. Right? You know, just to create that opportunity, to create that experience. Because if there's something you keep noticing in government, it loves experience, but it doesn't give the opportunity for you to have it.
That's true.
So it is really kicking you out. Right? Now you're stuck. You want to enter the market, right? You want to, but it's telling you need 5 years. Where will you get 5 years with all those red tapes? Right?
True.
Where will you get those 5 tapes? And remember, this contract, it's more than 20 years.
Imagine.
When will you enter in there? And that's what I'm saying. It's not that you don't want to do business, right? But government, whenever government is able to provide, it already has its big people in there already. Like, okay, look, guys, this is for you. And then for people like us, we can't enter in there.
That's true. There's a lot of red tape. I think if there's red tapes were simmered down or reduced, we could have a lot of guys coming with a lot of brilliant ideas that would help create a lot of jobs. So I think the government should just relook some of this red tapes and just so we could have more and more business.
You know what I'm thinking right now? You know, the government has a very similar structure, right? That, you know, you get the national, you get the provincial, you get the regional, you know, you get the local. You know, I mean, it keeps breaking itself down, right? In order to get things done. But somehow, when it has a project or something, it doesn't break it down when it comes to private companies. Somehow now we just need this big one and it's fine. No. Right now we have this system that works for us, but we don't think it will work here. Right? I mean, it's not so far-fetched to say, government, it's fine. This is a big project, good. But then we also need the little ones to get the experience. And I know someone will come and say, no, there are people that actually get that. But I beg to differ because you still need experience to enter that.
That's true.
And where will you get that experience? The experience is a problem. Even in a workplace right now, you need 3 years. And where the heck will you get this? What are they talking about?
That's
right? Where will you get that experience? And it comes back to their failure where in tertiary, there is still courses that shouldn't even be there anymore.
It's true. Outdated.
That's why they still need that experience. So even if you went to varsity, right? Or you went to college and then you did this, but by the time you get there, it's outdated that, you know what, we have to teach these people
Yeah.
You know, we still have to teach these people.
Yeah.
And obviously, teaching someone comes with a more expense.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think I totally agree. I think the government should just create regulations on this, especially on these big companies, and like they should approach them and tell them, Guti, in order for you to get this, at least you must adopt one small upcoming company or an individual so that the person can learn. So to get that experience.
Experience, right?
Yeah.
Similar to like a learnership, at least for small businesses. Because that experience, I'll tell you something. That experience really makes a difference. Especially, I would make an example if you entered this project, right? Maybe in construction or if you were to enter, I mean, just seeing the size of the project, you know, the deadlines, you know, the pressure that comes with it, it really teaches you a lot. And don't let them fool you, because there are even well-established companies that have actually not met their deadlines.
Yeah.
I saw companies that actually had to go there. Huge companies that just, you know what, didn't, that missed the deadline, that were not paying their workers. So we also have to look at those things and not always be negative and say, what if they won't be able to do this? Well, we wouldn't know until they try.
That's true.
Right. And the smartest thing you can do, that's what I'm saying, it's a small business. You keep it small.
Yeah.
There's nothing so hard in fixing a small problem. There's a difference between having, a cut and a wound.
Yeah.
You know, if I have a minor wound, right, it's just a minor wound, it's fine, it's gone. But obviously, a huge cut needs more work to it. It needs stitches, it needs, more recovery. So if I mess up a bit, I'm not saying it will not cause any delay, but it's nothing compared to a huge company that can cause that delay and cost the construction more money.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, it's something we need to speak about, because I'm thinking if you guys still pursued, that field, guys, I'm sure you would have moved from that trailer now to a restaurant.
That was the initial plan.
Right. And after that, from the first restaurant to the second restaurant.
Yeah.
From the second restaurant to the third, fourth, until you're like, you know what, let's franchise this.
I think
right.
Also there was a time when they had found space. There was a time when they had found space. And I don't know what delayed from getting the space.
There's a lot of red tapes and funds. Like we didn't have enough funds to move in, because there was rent which is like 14,000, which was above
insane.
us, and there's workers, electricity, which is too much, and we couldn't even get funding for that. Yeah.
And on top of that, what I'm gonna add is, you go to these developed countries, right? You're huge companies. Your Microsofts, your what is this? Your Apple. Those huge companies. You'd be surprised how long it took for those companies to start making profit.
Yeah, took them a while.
I mean, it really took them more than 20 years for some.
Yeah.
And yet they still functioned, right? Even though they were not making profit, they still functioned.
Yeah.
And go back to the fact that this is a developed country.
Yeah.
And yet there's this company that's not making profit.
Yeah.
Now you're coming back to this developing country. And this government expects, I'm just going to give you this funding for this year, and then I'll see what happens after all those years. It's just up to you.
Yeah.
Isn't the thinking wrong?
It is.
If there is already, and I'm going to repeat, if there is a company in a developed country, that it actually took more than 20 years for that company to make profit.
Yeah.
And then you're coming back here, then South Africa is going to say, I'm just going to fund you this year.
Yeah.
And then from there, this is a developing country, right?
Yeah. And after that, you see.
After that, you'll just see how. I mean, just think about that.
Yeah.
Right. I think for me, South Africa really needs to go back to that drawing board. They really need to sit down.
Yeah.
And they need to accept their circumstances. They need to accept their reality. Like, guys, this is our economy. This is how things work.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
And then we need to have these small businesses.
Yeah.
We really need to have these small businesses.
Yeah, because these small businesses are the ones with the potential growth. They have a bigger potential growth than a well-established business which has reached its ceiling. So we need that. I mean, in South Africa, we need that.
Well, which person will Absa hire now? Or Standard Bank, or FNB. I mean, it's grown to the limit. Which or MTN, or Vodacom. Who will they hire right now?
Yeah.
I mean, they've reached their max. If anything, if they plan to hire more, it's just them losing money. And business is not structured that way. Yeah. It's about profits.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's something about businesses, especially when it comes to the monopoly part, that actually those businesses have a characteristics of actually making abnormal profits.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a period where, we're gonna make this money. That's why sometimes you'll start picking it up now. That when it comes to your cell phones or your bank, there's a certain period where things are they just charge more. You just don't know what's happening during that period. You know what? Something is up. At time, I don't know, just doesn't last that long. I mean, if I'm calling right now and they're saying I'm gonna call for a minute, suddenly now it's 30 seconds. It's that period. That has suddenly cost this much. It is that period where it's time to make that abnormal profit.
Yeah.
Right? Government, for me, really has a lot of work to do.
Yeah,
it really has a lot of work to do. But if there's something that government really needs to pick up on is actually believing in their own people.
Yeah.
If anything, for me, you know what? They really need to start believing in their own people. Because from what you just said, and remember, this is a small business. It's not a huge business.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot approach it as though, okay, the next month I expect to get this money.
Yeah.
Right, I expect to have this kind of money. I'm expecting to make this kind of money. But then when I've been talking for so long, it's so wrong because I'm still interviewing you.
Yeah. Government, and I'd say our political leaders, is that they are so used to giving handouts. You can tell that they are used to getting handouts.
Yeah.
It's true. Like, you can tell by the legislation and all of that.
Yeah, that's very, very true.
So on that, what would you like to add? You're saying that the business concerning, of course, the trailer, it's still operating now, right?
No,
is it still?
Currently, it's not operating. The
it's
guys
not operating.
Took the trailer and went back home to try and make money there, but it's not enough as the word of made here. So, yeah, I can say that for now it's temporary, like it has stopped. Yeah, but there's a lot of businesses I did, even when the trailer thing was going, because I went from selling hair. You see, I love money, so I involve myself in anything that is money. I went from selling hair, which I used to import in China and then sell it. I went from selling sneakers, like there's a lot of businesses that I did. From sneakers, I went to selling screen protectors. And then from then onwards, now I'm actually into the real estate business where I bought a flat and I'm actually renting out some rooms in that flat, which from the money I had saved throughout the years from the different businesses that I'm in, I was able to save up enough money to actually buy myself a flat. And there's actually a lot of things that you learn, especially in the industry space, that a lot of people don't know. Because a lot of people just think like buying a house, you just buy. They don't know that there's additional costs that come with buying a property. Because, for example, there's lawyers. And the
lawyers are a must. The lawyers
are a must.
They're a must.
And then if you don't know, you would be caught with your pants down because you wouldn't have budgeted for that amount.
Okay.
Because the lawyers on itself, they cost over 30K and you have to pay 2 lawyers.
Why?
Because
what does this one handle and what does that one handle?
There's a transfer attorney and the bond attorney. The bond attorney is the one that handles your bond between. He is the middleman between you and the bank.
Okay.
So that he facilitates that process. And then there's a transfer attorney who handles the title deeds, the transfer of ownership. Yeah. From a previous owner to you. So you need to pay both those lawyers.
And both have their own fees.
Yeah. So when I will be surprised, you get an invoice, 15,000. Another one invoice, 20,000. So if you had not budgeted for that, and then you'll be in real trouble.
Are you told from the beginning about those fees, or do they just come?
Nah, they don't tell you from up to. So the thing is about me, luckily, before I do something, I do research. That's how I found out. Yeah. But they didn't tell me because, hey, you have to pay. I just saw per invoice. You see, so that's actually, if you don't have knowledge about something, that's where you actually, And it takes a long time. It's not like a straight up, it took me up to 6 months to get my property. Because of this lockdown and back and forth thing of the lawyers compiling the paperwork and stuff. Yeah, so it takes a long time. So people need to be clued up.
And it costs money.
And it costs money because I also had to renovate after that. The flat was not in good condition. I had to renovate it and then expand it for it to give me more property. So now the plan now is to continue buying more properties together with my sister, she's also my partner in the business, in that business. So it's actually a very nice business to have because property is in demand, especially in Sunnyside. Yeah.
So your property is in Sunnyside, since you are mentioning.
Yeah, my first property this year.
Oh, it's this year?
Yeah, this year. So I'm planning on buying more.
And judging by the what is this word I'm looking for? Since I can't find it, let me just say it in a sentence way, right? So when it comes to actually accumulating money, right?
Yeah.
Like how long will it take you again to actually establish another?
It depends, because what you need to save up for is mostly a deposit and renovating money. The other money you get from the bank. So the more sources of income I have, the more faster I get to my goals. You see. So so with this multiple sources of income that I have, I could get to my goals very faster. Yeah. So it can take me up to 6-7 months.
Okay. Yeah. And then now, this is Smanga today. How many businesses are you involved in?
Okay. I'm involved because I still sell the sneakers part-time. Okay. I'm into rentals. I rent out the units that I own. I'm also I still tutor students at Unisa. I also have a fumigation business which I recently launched. Together with my cousin, which is doing quite well. We fumigated a couple of schools.
Can you tell me a little more about that one?
Okay. So in order I came up with this business when I realized that my grandma, I took this other chemical to Soweto, where my grandmother stayed, and she used it, and it killed a lot of cockroaches. So my grandma kept on calling me, asking me, hey, please bring me this. Then I knew that there was a big market for this, because once I did my research, I found out that there was a few companies actually doing fumigation in Soweto compared to Pretoria. Yeah, so I joined with my cousin and then told him about it. Then it was sold. Then we registered a business. Then we started marketing the business, and we got a tender at the school. We fumigated for COVID, and I got a tender where I'm staying to fumigate the whole building. From then, and we were fumigating a couple of houses in Soweto. So now we're busy trying to launch it on a bigger scale, especially in Soweto.
Oh.
Yeah.
So the building in which you stay now, you're fumigating?
Yeah, I did fumigation.
It was a tender.
Yeah, it was sort of like a tender. I was actually even starting there was like, no, can you do this favor for us since we have a company? And then I just, did it. It was a small tender. Yeah, they did pay. They did pay.
It wasn't a favor?
It was a favor because of the amount of money that they paid. Okay. So for me, it was more of building a profile more than profit. Yeah.
That's where the loss comes in.
It wasn't really a loss. We made
so
profit.
It's a loss, but
we made profit.
You're not making as much profit.
Yeah, but you can't be greedy when you're starting.
No.
Yeah.
Sacrifice.
Yeah, we could have gotten more if it was another build.
But it wasn't necessary.
I'm so close with the chairperson of the building. So I said that just any amount you can afford for the building. Plus, I also stayed there. I have a unit there. So for me, it was just, let me just do this. But yeah, she's a very good person.
And from your businesses, right, which one is more stable and profitable?
For my business, I can say the tutoring business is more stable because it's a yearly business that happens on 2 semesters. And then this one I just recently launched. The sneakers one I have to stop, especially when it gets busy during the year. So I can't divide myself into going to stock, getting sneakers and doing that. So yeah, so I can say from next year, I think...
I'm not selling myself here.
I want to delegate.
I'm not selling myself, but I am.
Yeah.
I mean, what if you could still continue the business?
Yeah. If I can, then...
No, not through you.
Yeah.
I'm not selling myself, but I'm selling myself. What if you could still continue the business?
Then that's a plus for me. That's why I was thinking that next year I should delegate someone to actually run.
We're not hiring.
Yeah.
We're not hiring.
Delegate.
Yeah, delegate.
We're not hiring.
I'll delegate.
You've hired enough of certain people in life. You're not going to hire them.
So if that happens, then next time in. So I'm always open to exploring new ideas. That's why I always challenge people around me to come up with ideas, business ideas, so we can make money, feed our kids.
I mean, you don't want to see yourself at the top of the ladder and then see the people you grew up with
at the bottom.
Asking for favors.
Yeah. My vision is to uplift those who are below me, because you never know, I could uplift, then you could uplift me more tomorrow.
Yeah.
You never know, because our luck is not the same.
And I think also that's the danger, right?
Yeah.
You know, some people say, you know what, man, I ran out of luck. But sometimes I feel like you're the cause, because you could have lifted someone that could have lifted you when you needed them.
That's true. That's true.
Because
basically, like everything, for me, I believe that everything in life is luck.
Yeah.
For example, you can have, South Africa, I'm sure, is over 5 million lawyers. Some lawyers are at home, some are working. So those who are working are actually lucky to get that job. It's not that the other one who's at home that didn't work hard enough, didn't have sleepless nights.
It's what I'm saying.
Luck is very
We have
important.
a very similar mindset, because what I believe is it's about opportunity.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. It's about, if you miss it, I don't care how skilled
you have
you
to be
are,
lucky to get that
opportunity.
Yeah.
If you miss it, doesn't matter how skilled you are, once that door closes, because there's a misconception that people that sit are not trying hard enough, right?
Yeah.
You know, always have that mind, especially if things tend to go your way, you're so lucky. Sometimes you feel as though, you know what, this is my hard work, but it didn't know.
You're sitting at a point of privilege.
Yeah, you're just sitting at a point of privilege, and you're taking advantage of that opportunity, right?
True.
But then you don't need to get so arrogant and be like, you know what, other people are not working hard. Because I guarantee you, there's someone who works twice as hard as you, but you know what, his doors are just closed.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, how can we justify earning a high salary based on hard work? How do we quantify hard work?
Yeah.
Someone in the construction who's hired and underpaid works very hard compared to someone who's a CEO who just
has to think.
Just thinks.
He just has to think.
How do we say this hard work is not hard enough and doesn't deserve to earn the salary? And how do you say, okay, being a CEO and working, because at the same time, you can say, okay, in order for you to earn $1 million, you have to work hard and be a CEO.
Yeah.
There are a lot of, I'm also a CEO in my company. I work hard, bro, but I don't even get so it's unfair to say like poor people are not working hard enough, because I think poor people work more harder than actually those who have money.
That's why they like to say poor people are exploited.
Too much.
They are exploited.
Too much.
And then for you to say that, for me, is also spitting on their face.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I'm going to use you, I'm going to spit in your face.
Yeah.
Because they really do work hard. Right? You know what it's like? People always say, and this is the interesting thing, I'm adding to what you're saying. You ask a CEO or whoever, a business person.
Yeah.
Right? Mindset, the main thing you always hear, work hard, right? That's it, right? Work hard. You know what time I wake up? I wake up at 4. Man, I know people that wake up at 3.
That's true.
People wake up at 3.
That's
true. You know what?
You can't.
For a 200 rand.
Yeah.
To make 200 rand that day. But wake up at 3 and then gets back home at 7.
Yeah. Make 200
for 200 bucks.
It's not
hard work or work smart.
Yeah, see. And the funny part is that you find 2 people working in the same company. The CEO gets more than 500 times what the normal worker earns. But these people are working for the same company, and the worker, for example, the CEO can quit tomorrow, but the company will still continue because there's workers.
Yeah.
You see, but if all the workforce stops working, the company collapses, which shows you that the workers are more important, but yet they are paid
less valued. I'll use the word even, they're less valued.
It's not fair. So with me, I never want to become that kind of CEO. For me, the purpose is not to be a billionaire. The purpose is for me to have enough money to pull those who are below to almost the same standard as me. That's what I would love to achieve in life. That would make me very happy.
There's a CEO who raised the minimum wage of his employees.
Yeah.
Right? Where he paid them more.
Yeah.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, they got a lot more time off.
Yeah.
And people said that company is gonna suffer. Those people are gonna, the company is just gonna die.
Yeah.
They estimated when the company was gonna die.
Yeah.
But what ended up happening was the employees were happier.
Yeah.
They did more work than they did before. And the company grew.
Yeah. It's true. It's greed. It's greed.
Greed is something else.
Yeah. Very, very.
The problem is, I think if you're in a meeting with these billionaires, I'm sure they just rave about how much money they have. So it's like, there's no way I'm gonna let so and so
surpass
or have more money than me. So I'm gonna be greedier.
Yeah.
If the CEO, right, of this MTN or Vodacom, bonus, and their bonus is 28 million to 30 million. That's a lot. And then you go back to that work, and then guess what? The employees never got any bonuses because someone said there's no money. Which I can say. Someone said there's no money, but there's a CEO that would just got a 28 million rand bonus.
Yeah.
But the employees are like, you know what? We just don't have the money.
Like, it's not fair. Like, it's really, really, really not fair what the employees get compared to the CEOs. CEOs, they're ripping people off. Because imagine you work for the same company. The CEO has private medical health care. The CEO qualifies for a bond. The CEO can have multiple houses, can feed his child, take their children to private school. But there's a worker still there who works, earns a salary, but still needs to rely on the government for some basic needs, such as health, medical, and free schooling. Just imagine how fair. And these people all work in the same company. Like, for me, it's not fair. It's very greed.
I'm going to ask now, do you think that actually companies should actually have that a free, and I'm talking about well-established, well-profiting companies should have that free, actually, healthcare for their workers?
Yeah, I think it's like if you can't run a business based on sick workers who are sick. So they must be able to get proper medical health care so they can recover quick so they can go back to work. So now if you wanna let your worker go sick for months not getting proper medical health care from the public hospitals, then how do you expect the worker to come tomorrow? So I think it's only fair if the CEOs have access to medical health care, and the company should also subsidize medical health care access for their workers to make things fair.
And now asking you, I'm not sure if it's a difficult question, but
Yeah.
Yes, we're talking about greed, but why do companies seem as though they just care less for their workers and more for their CEOs? Actually, they are bored.
Yeah. I'm not saying CEOs don't work hard. I'm not saying we should take away from CEOs. But for me, I think they're glorified more. I don't understand. Why do CEOs have to earn more money than other, let's say, doctor? A doctor is equally important, even more important than a CEO, because the doctor saves lives. But yet, a doctor should have, we all know that doctors earn this amount of money. We all know that engineers earn this amount of money. But CEOs don't have a limit.
Anything is possible.
Why so special about a CEO that a CEO should earn more than a professor who has 15 years, who's been studying who's helped a lot of people get less? So I don't understand. Like, it's for me, we glorifying too. These CEOs are glorified over and above. They're overpaid.
But now I'm going to ask.
It's overpayment.
I'm going to ask. It's your company.
Yeah.
And you've been through thick and thin with this company for that very 20 years, right?
Yeah.
And now this company is making serious. You are making these sacrifices, right? We were watching you. We were not there.
Yeah.
As you said, man, I had to take it out of my own pocket, right? You are not there, right?
Yeah.
Now this company is making millions upon millions. Is it unfair or fair to say, you know what, this year, I want 20 million?
It's unfair. And the reason why I say it's unfair, during that 20-year period, there were workers in the company.
Yeah.
And you find that the workers who were there when you started the companies are the workers who are still working for you. So to take credit alone for doing everything would be really unfair. What about the workers who work 20 years and sacrifice? They sacrifice waking up in the morning, risking their lives. They could get into accidents, risking their time with their children, coming to work.
And they're still even in minor positions.
You underpay them. For me, that's not fair because they're doing what you're doing. They're sacrificing. They might not be taking out the money, but they are making the money.
So it's not.
So
I think it's not.
It's not
what you have. It's how much of what you have you give.
Yes.
It's not how much you give.
Yeah.
It's how much of what you have that you give.
Yes.
So if you gave 20,000, and in your account you have 1 million, it makes no difference in your life.
True.
But if I'm giving 20,000 and I'm making like 30.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, in a way, selfishness does kick in at some point.
My brother. Greed.
Yeah, greed.
Like it's being greedy. Like you cannot run a company on your own. ShopRite can be paying the CEOs millions, but that guy cannot run ShopRite alone. It needs workers who sacrifice, are sacrificing for that guy to make all that money. So you can't give credit to one person.
So that's why I'm asking. That's why I keep adding these labels because they kind of define the person's mindset at that particular time.
Yeah.
Such as greed, selfishness, right?
Yeah.
I would even stretch it also and say, what is this word? It just escaped me right now.
Yeah.
But since it escaped me, I'm not going to add a word that was not supposed to be there. So I'll just stick to these two.
Yeah.
It's the greed and the selfishness, right?
Yeah, it is. It's
right.
and
and the lack of appreciation.
Yeah. And it's capitalism for me.
Because if I'm working and it's me and you, I mean, yes, I may have established it, I may have begun, but to be honest, you are the co.
It's
also.
true.
You are co there, right? You were there from the beginning, and yet fast forward 20 years later, and the best thing I can do for you is just make you, procurement manager. right?
Yeah.
That's the best thing I can do for you. You're not even in the board.
The board, when
right?
making decisions.
So in other words, I'm not fair to you.
Yeah, and there's a lot of unfairness here, and so as long as the government keeps on ignoring it, South Africa will keep on being the most unequal country in the world. We're actually the most unequal country in the world. Like,
that's really
the most.
bad.
If you can do a research on that, South Africa is the most.
What I like is you don't even have to go to school.
Yeah,
you can just see it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So it's really unfair for those who.
The interesting thing is, it's easy to run. It's easy to run an area. That's just established.
Yeah.
Right. Where I'll always give credit to a government that actually established a place where people amount in that area.
Yeah.
I'll always give credit to that. But if you're gonna, I'll make an example. If you're gonna go to an area where it's mostly suburb, right? It's a suburban area mostly.
Yeah.
People are working well. There's not much things as new. Service delivery is still there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're not doing any work.
Yeah.
But if you are to go now to a more poor area, right? There's no sewage pipes. The toilets are not the thing, right? Electricity is still a problem. And you go there and then you develop that place. I'll have to give more credit to you because that place has been running. And honestly, those people really don't need you. They have their own money. To be honest, they really don't need you that much.
Yeah.
But if you're going to go to an area where people really need you and you make a difference, then when you can pat yourself in the back and say, you know what, well done, man. Well done. And that's me. I'll give credit to, I want to see the place before and after.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want you to take credit for a place that was already developed. What the heck are you doing? Things have been functioning this way. Yeah. Even if you are trying to interrupt, those people will deal with you same day.
It's true.
Right? It's not like you're doing something so amazing that, you know what, we need to clap hands.
Yeah.
Right?
Also the DA, also looking at the DA and what they did in Cape Town.
Yeah.
So many complaints about what the ANC is doing, but what the DA has done in Cape Town is the same thing that the ANC has done, where they've segregated the poor and uplifted the wealthy community. So it's
that's
like what?
That's why I can't give credit to them. Cape Town, particularly the city. Come on, man. It's been functioning like you cannot really give credit. It's been like start something from nothing.
Yeah.
Then you can say, you know what, man, I worked hard here, right? I developed this area. If you look closely, there actually was no school there. There is a school there now.
Yeah.
You know what? If you look that way, guess what? There was actually no police station. There is a police station there right now. I've employed this. You are doing a great job. But if you're going to go to a place that's already established, what challenges are there? And mostly, if you notice, you'll be surprised. But actually, in most areas where people work, they have their own community service.
Yeah.
There is already community because they don't want any interruption. They have that mindset already. What you know what? We don't want any problems. That's what I'm saying. You don't tend to do much work.
What tends to happen is that you are now protecting the rich from the poor.
Yeah.
So if there's any investment that goes to the rich, it's for protection from the poor.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's mostly the case.
And that's something. How do you grow? How do you grow people that you don't believe in?
You can't. I
Right.
feel like the government, South African government, is like just think about it. How many quantums are in South Africa?
Yeah.
A lot of quantums. So and where's the money going? It's going. I think it's Toyota's own is manufactured in I don't know, Japan or something, or Korea. I'm not sure. Somewhere there, the money is leaving South Africa. So instead of
manufactured in South Africa.
no, but the company Toyota, where is it from? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But the money is going out of South, not in. So if the government was clever enough, the government would have started up its own manufacturing hub where they could employ people to come and manufacture something similar to a quantum. So the money can circulate in our economy. And that way creating employment and uplifting our economy. So we're so the government is so lazy that it's just okay with us buying everything from outside and importing it here, and which is why the prices of things keep on increasing. Because once it increased that side and our currency is weak, now we have to spend more buying from the other side.
So what you're saying is we're affected by globalization.
I'd say that, yeah. Yeah.
In 2013,
Because we lacked to create our own products and services at the same
in
time.
2013
Yeah.
you could buy an Isuzu for 300,000,
Yeah.
300 and something thousand. But now, standard price is 500,000.
We don't have a car that is produced South African, like from this country. We don't have a cell phone. We don't have nothing that's technology that's produced here in South
when we
Africa.
say- even when
If the
we
world
say-
can shut us out, then we are on our own. Like we wouldn't survive because we don't have we have nothing. So the government has created this lazy mindset from our people not to be innovative enough, because the government doesn't fund innovation enough. It doesn't invest as much as other countries like China, USA invest in their innovation and technology and everything. They spend millions, but instead they are just.
Do you think it goes back to what I
corruption.
said, that the government is behaving in a manner as though it does not believe in its own people,
Yeah, it is.
that they are capable
No,
of
they're too greedy to believe.
in
Because
them.
they're thinking of the stomach.
And a stomach.
So you can't believe once you are feeding your own stomach.
And judging from your experience, if government had paid attention, if government would have paid attention to its people, and you know your people, do you believe that we would have actually came with our own automobile, with
Yes.
our own cell phone?
Look at China.
With our own computers.
China is where it is today because of industrialization. What they did is that instead of wanting to buy, they attracted sort of companies to move their productions that side, so China can create even iPhones. You know that iPhones are made in China, then transported back to the USA just for the for the finishing touches. Because the thing is, iPhones are would be more expensive to make in America, because with one salary of an American, you can pay 5 Chinese workers. You see? So that's how they attracted companies to come to China, so that everything could be made there, so that the money can come to China.
Would you say so now
China now it's
really exploiting its workers?
I can't say that, because
Are they happy?
in China the standard of living is almost the same. There is no super wealthy, someone who's extremely rich and someone who's very, the government is communist. He tried to bridge the gap. That it's not a capitalist government. The government is trying to reduce the gap between the rich and the wealthy. That is why you will never find a doctor who's paid a lot of money compared to a worker who's, let's say, in construction. It's reasonable. So that is why you find some Chinese go to other countries to get a better pay. But the Chinese government has made it the poverty in China is very low compared to other countries.
And unemployment?
And unemployment is also very low, because now companies are bringing companies to China. So
there's money,
people now, workers have
around.
money. The money is circulating in the economy. So in South Africa, it's just we have a very lazy government who just wants to give people free money. That's how I see it. They just want to solve problem by just throwing
the
money at
350
it.
The 350 for me is
a rich parent.
Yeah.
You know, a rich parent that when the child cries,
You just give. And how long are you gonna keep on giving?
But for me, it's clearly it's obvious that they don't have ideas. You know, when you
They
do that, you
don't.
don't have
They don't.
ideas,
They don't.
right? Because they know for a fact that this is not how you grow a country.
Yeah.
It's not that stupid.
Yeah.
They know.
South Africa is the only country that has so much grants. Get grants for everything.
yeah. Not only do they not have ideas, they are against anyone that brings ideas or that
It's
has
true.
ideas.
It's true. How can you give 350 to someone who's sitting with a brilliant idea at home who can employ over 50 people?
Yeah, why
For me,
didn't they really
that's
invest?
stupidity. Why don't
It
invest
bothered a lot of
in
people.
those ideas?
It bothered a lot of people actually that I know
how many
why would
billions- how many
government
billions
give
are those?
350, but then not just give the business so that they can stay operate? You know that they can still operate.
Our government is something else. Like
So they're promoting handicapism.
Yeah.
That's the word.
They've crippled us.
So they
that's
want
for
people
sure.
to rely on them so much so they can continue voting for them.
Yeah.
So if you create
So
reliance on
this is
someone,
not any comical, comical, English, my brother.
economical.
Yeah,
Come on.
economical strategy. This is political.
It's
Yeah.
What you're
political.
saying, it's political.
They want people to rely on them so that they know they can continue getting votes,
Uh.
votes, and votes.
But how desperate would you be if unemployment is that high?
Yeah. So like at the moment, anything you get from the government, like it blocks you from actually realizing that the government is stealing so much money. Once you get that 350,
You forget.
you
about-
forget that hey, these guys are stealing. Yeah, but it's
But-
sort
but-
of like a bribe.
But the prices
Yeah.
of things, what will the 350 do?
Bribing.
What will it do?
Bribing society.
I mean, you
They
can
can't
only
even
spend-
afford to
you can only
bribe
spend
them.
your money on alcohol, which majority of South Africans are doing.
Yeah.
But what will, like something essential, what can you, 350 can't pay your rent. I mean, let alone pay your water bills or your electrical bills.
For a whole month, and you're
Yeah,
giving
for the whole month, they give me 350.
I should
Now
survive.
imagine I have kids. How the heck will I take them to school? Let alone how the heck will I eat, dress? How will I buy clothes for 350?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
We
I'm
like.
I want to count that in dollars, how much it's going to be. So, what a wow.
I'm sure that's like $50.
Yeah, $15 somewhere there.
Yeah, or 60.
Is it 14 or 15?
Huh?
Make
The
it
rent to the
40,
dollar. It's
14.
15 now.
Make it 15 average. Just
That's $23.
Yes, sir.
$3. Yeah.
Imagine.
You're eating that for the whole month.
For the whole month, you have. I saw a video.
Imagine.
I saw a video where Shaq was betting someone $20.
Imagine. $20 is nothing. You can't expect someone to live like that. Like it's insane.
I think this is the part, I won't lie, this is the part that bugs me when people still defend the party.
The ANC.
This is the part that
Yeah.
bugs me. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Why would you do that?
I like for me, like there is no country currently that's happy with that president. Like for me, there's always gonna be a complaint. So I think
I don't know.
I
There
think
should be a complaint, right? If you see, it's like your America, right?
yeah.
Your America is like an ESCOM here. It's like a ShopRite. Their room for growth is only. How can I put it? It seems to have plateaued,
Yeah.
right? So they are stabilized. So
Yeah.
for them, they are stable. We all trade in dollars now. So trading, we use the dollar.
Because that's the most stable currency in the world.
You understand? So now, a country like South Africa, there's a whole lot of room for growth there.
Yeah.
So our complaints are more relevant than complaints from your America, your UK. I mean, they're not
But-
saying that they shouldn't
they
complain.
have less complaints than us.
Yes,
But,
our complaints are.
there's a difference between
more.
a 7% unemployment rate and a 50% unemployment rate.
It's insane.
You understand?
And
It's there. It's even past
And
50
and then you don't expect that country to have a high crime rate.
rate.
Yeah.
Because half of the people are
Are not
unemployed.
working, while others are working.
It's
I mean, it
like
gets to
that's
the
why we
point
need
where
a young president. For me, I think having a much younger president.
you know what, I'll be
Because
honest.
I feel
I
like
kind of
these
kind of
guys are
see
lazy.
because they understand the new generation.
Yeah.
I'd say for me, from my experience, seeing as we have a young councillor, so that's for me to just.
It's a no.
Nah,
The thing
but
for
but-
me,
but-
what-
but the main
thing that
leader-
counts- the thing that counts is character, right? The thing that counts is character, and you can't. They all seem to have this willingness to want to help
Yeah.
us. Inside,
But
you don't know-
but a
you don't
councillor
know a
can only
person's
do as much.
backstory.
The councillor gets as a powerful position, but not as powerful as the president.
I understand, but
Like,
I'm saying
that
I'm
is
saying
why-
that, you don't know a person's heart. You don't know what's running in a person's mind.
But young people have the most vibrant idea.
I'll make an example. I've sat down with the CEO of Freedom Park, right? And where we've had discussions, but it was a group discussion. That lady is super intelligent, super wise. But with what's happening in Freedom Park, it just doesn't make sense.
Begs the question.
Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't, you can't put...
But not every young person is like that. There are some
She's young though.
Yeah, they are young and better. You can't marginalize just because
I'll have
you know too unwise.
Yeah. But I'll have to agree with this case. Character, guys, let's not ignore it. Character will always be key. If we start putting numbers, it's a dangerous game.
Yeah.
It really is a dangerous game.
But you can't have a 75-year-old, bruh, who's like in minister of something. That person is they're even sleeping in parliament, bruh, during speeches and stuff.
I understand that, but if that person knows and understands the problems of the people and knows how to resolve those problems, where is age there?
But
what's age got to do with it?
We've tried and tested the old.
No, I understand.
The young, the youth, the young is not.
Listen, what you are saying is, here's where I agree with it.
Yeah.
The majority cannot be old people.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they shouldn't be there.
Yeah,
but the majority shouldn't be. The problem with
Yeah.
with the ANC
There
is
should
that
be a mix.
the majority is old people.
Yes. There should be a mix between
You can
the
tell
young
it's a
and
group of people that know each other, that called each other and said, we'll be here. Yeah. Other than merit. It wasn't a merit kind of decision where, you know what, I know so-and-so works hard.
The thing about politics and involving politics and everything is that the country does not grow because you're trying to make everything equal politically. No, we need more women here. You know, we need more black people here. So it defeats the purpose of... I'll make an example with rugby, right? They try to incorporate black people. Because when they're involved in politics, they shouldn't be, right? And rugby started to suffer, right? Rugby started to suffer. And then once you go back to, we are basing this on skill, not your skin color. We're going to base it on skill alone. Then rugby went back to what rugby was. You understand?
That's your point.
My point.
Crazy.
No, I'm coming back to your point. What you said is that Shoprite cannot grow much more than it is now. And all a person cannot think, like the person has seen has tried different, but he cannot think as much as a young person. A young person is still fresh, still new, can see things differently and understands more.
Okay.
And that's why
now,
I'm not saying that we just put a stupid young person there.
Now pay attention to also what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
There are certain things you cannot innovate, such as respect. You don't innovate respect. It's fixed.
Yeah.
Right? Sure. Respect is fixed.
Yeah.
There are certain things that are fixed that you cannot change. And only adults can teach that kind of thing at some point. That's what I'm saying. There needs to be a balance. Remember, if you pay attention to EFF, pay attention to EFF and pay attention to ANC. ANC might not be doing things, but EFF speaks in a way that it does not respect anyone. Just the way they speak.
That's
right?
character.
That's character. We're talking about character, right?
Yeah.
Where kids need to be put in check. No one is putting them in check because it's just kids there, right? Yes, they have new ideas there, but still, there are certain things that just need adults. That's what I'm saying. For me,
look at Pussy
balance.
My
Sean Fit. Pussy. say one last thing about.
I can't.
So, but I'm not sure how long we have. Guess how long do we have though?
Ah man, let's. I don't know.
Estimate.
I can't even estimate the battery time.
Okay, fine. Last thing I wanna ask. You understand? Which one is better? Is it just to specialize or to diversify, business-wise? And why?
That's a very difficult question.
No, none is wrong, but in your in your opinion?
I think diversifying is better because you can explore different opportunities in different places than specializing, and then the economy kicks you out and that specialty becomes redundant and then you're out. So diversifying for me
I think I want to say, if you're an investor, diversify.
Didn't you say the battery is that?
It's dying.
So why are you speaking? Right at this point, you're not qualified to speak anymore because you said the battery is dying. That's what he said, Mas, right? Yes.
Yeah,
that's what he said.
My point
As I said, you don't qualify. Smanga, it was nice having you here, man.
Thanks, no problem.
Yeah, it was really nice.
I think with me, you're gonna need part 2 and part 3.
I think so.
Yeah.
And trust me, you'll be back here.
Thanks.
Yeah, you'll be back here, man.
If he's not back here, we're going to go to his place. We must not qualify to talk.
Yeah, we'll go there.
Yeah.
I'll have to carry this mug. This mug goes with me. This mug goes with me. No, really, man, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming.
Thanks,
Okay.
my brother.
Sure, man.
Sure.